Welcome everybody to Athletically Speaking, Wagon Wheel Sports College Football Show. Today, we finally wrap up all of the conference breakdowns with the G5 and Independence. I got Ryan here with me.
Yo, what's
As
up?
always,
Yo,
we're
what's up? What's good?
here
What's popping? What's cracking?
covering all of the college football needs.
Don't do crack.
That's right. We do not promote drugs upon the show. So, all right. Well, let's start with the news of the past couple weeks. With the big thing, and that's Big 12 and SEC Media Days and Big 10 Media Days kicked off today, actually. So
Yeah.
that was cool. Big 12 had a nice showing.
Good.
Lots of people coming out.
Was.
I think it was fun to see Dave Aranda come out and say, when he was asked about how are you doing so well on the recruiting trail, and he was like, we're paying players. And he was just straight
All
up
you
with
need
it.
to do.
I mean,
Honest.
that's what's happening. So
Honesty is the best policy.
yeah. The next thing, Shadur Sanders talked about how Colorado was like the Super Bowl.
That is so ridiculous. Where
For
everybody's
everybody's
Super
team.
Bowl. Like, dude, no. Stop it.
It's like nobody cares about Colorado.
No.
They haven't done anything relevant since '98 or
Yeah,
something like that. So
They just tick me off.
that's gonna be interesting. I'm sure that's lots of bulletin board material for these schools
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Considering that Big 12 Media, the poll came out, Kansas State, or Utah, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State are your top three teams, which is about to be expected.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Go, folks.
those schools are going to be there
Whoop.
competing for the title at the end of the year.
Hey, shout out also the Big 12 Media Days. Shout out to Coach Gundy. Drinking and driving.
Oh, God.
Woo! I'm just kidding.
That's another
We don't
great
promote
point.
that. We don't promote that. Although I will say, I'm just kidding. If you're listening to this, Mike Gundy, I love you. He wasn't promoting it. He was just
not.
saying. He was trying to make a plea. He didn't say it the best, but he wasn't promoting it. I just want to say.
I will
that.
understand. Like when I first heard that, I was like
Yeah.
taken aback. I was like, "What?
Yeah.
What?" And then once it processes, you're like, "Oh, he's made thousands of mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes."
Everybody makes mistakes. Yeah,
But-
he's like, oh, I've done that 1,000 times drinking and driving.
Yeah, it's
I
like-
had to do double take. I was like, whoa.
You gotta listen a couple times and be like, he's not actually talking about drinking and driving, just the mistakes part of that. So
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't think he's drinking and driving.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much the highlights of Big 12 Media Days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there wasn't really anything out of the ordinary.
I don't
It was
think
just
so.
hot as frick in Las Vegas that week.
I bet
Look-
it was.
Luckily, they were inside,
Yeah.
so props to that. SEC Media Days kicked off. The SEC polls came out. Georgia, Texas was the top two. Alabama, I think, was three, and down the list. Yet again, pretty much to be expected. There wasn't really anything too major
No.
or newsworthy out of SEC Media Days.
Not that I can think of.
It went on as planned. First of all, the media polls, as they are pretty ridiculous, and I know why, and I know that they're ridiculous because Vanderbilt got 5 votes as number 1 in the SEC. So, no, this is why people don't take polls seriously.
Sounds legit to me.
It's
Yeah.
because of that. Yeah, right. It's like when Clark Lee came out 2 or 3 years ago and was like, Vandy's going to run the conference in a few years. Like, way to have the confidence there, but
I commend you for that.
sadly, not it. But yeah, nothing really eventful at SEC Media Days. Big 10 Media Days kicked off today. And-
forgot about that.
The first thing I woke up to on Twitter was a giant duck in the lake.
Oh
in the river.
yes, that's
And
right.
I was like,
That's
oh.
beautiful.
I know. I was like, this is the funniest thing that I've
That-
seen.
I love that.
I feel like that was a Puddles idea. So way to go, Puddles! For
Absolutely.
putting a
I
giant
love.
duck
We've
in the
mentioned that before. We love puddles. Big puddle guys
Puddles is
here. He's
basically
great.
our sponsor of the show.
Yeah, I love you, puddles. So,
Like, I don't know.
it's pretty great though.
If I had a chance to put a giant inflatable duck in a lake
I would
or in a
too.
river, I'd do it.
100%.
That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So way to go, Oregon. I hope it stays there for. It should just float down. Like, just let it go.
Just see
Have
where it
some fun.
goes. Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. The next biggest thing that's happened is the Big 12 has been talking about the private equity usage to
Yeah.
pay off Clemson and Florida's states realignment or their cost of the ACC. So how do you feel about that?
I am for it. I mean, if we could get them to in the conference, I think that would be great. That'd help us out a lot. We would be shown a little bit more respect, having some big name teams, some more. They don't. I feel like the only other place I don't think the Big Ten would happen. It would be the SEC. I'm assuming, and it's too stacked already.
Well,
I would love to see him in the Big 12.
See, this is my fear with this. Is like clearly they want out
They do.
of the ACC.
Mm.
So I've seen a couple things where it's been back and forth to where it's like the Big 12 is like, all right, we're gonna sign you to these, but these contracts are you're gonna be here for the long haul, or you're not gonna be here at all.
Yep.
And my biggest fear is that Florida State and Clemson's going to jump ship to the Big 12 to get out of the ACC, and then later on down the road they're going to try to get out and go to one of the other two conferences.
Yeah.
It's like if you're going to be jumping to the Big 12, why are you jumping there? Are you jumping strictly to get out, or are you trying to bolster yourself to move again later?
Yeah. I don't know.
Plus,
We'll
I
see.
still think the private equity is weird. Somebody's got to pay that money back at some point.
That is weird.
I don't know how all that's going to work, but somebody's got to.
People smarter than me will make those decisions.
I just don't want no universities to start going bankrupt because they can't
No.
afford anything anymore.
Yeah. We'll see how that shakes out.
That we will. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. College football, the video game,
It's been great.
is out.
It
It
is.
is a beautiful masterpiece.
Is it everything you thought it would be?
And I think it is.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
I have very little complaints about it, honestly.
Yeah,
Really.
same, man. I'm not good at the passing mechanics of it. I throw a lot of interceptions, more than you probably could even guess if you think of the number. It's probably more.
Comment those numbers in the comments there.
And if Charles, if you're listening to this, I don't like you. So, anyways, yeah. And also, I mean, I'm not great when we play. Me and him play head to head sometimes,
We played like 6 games.
and I'm not great. I'm not gonna lie, but we're in a dynasty together, and when it matters, which it doesn't matter, we're not in the same
What
conference, so like it's not going to affect at the end of the game the conference play, but it matters a little bit more because we're in a dynasty. And I smoked this dude.
He didn't really smoke me.
Actually, right
He's by
here,
one
take
touchdown,
a peek
actually.
right here, right at Lobos. Yeah, put some respect on our name. We're getting the Natty this year.
He's
I'm
not.
calling it 4-0 right now. I think 3-0, 4-0. I'm gonna say 4-0. Yeah, I'm great. We're doing great. You're not, but
I'm 3-1.
yeah, I'm sorry.
I have a Heisman candidate.
He does.
Actually, top of the board.
He
Heisman
does.
candidate.
I don't know how either, but and then one of our other guys that's in our dynasty too. He's got a running back in the Heisman race as well. I'll get there. My quarterback, he's only a freshman, so give him some time, but he'll get there.
Sure.
He'll get there.
Sam Houston, if you're hearing this, please send me a helmet
yeah.
because I love you and I need your helmet. So
Yeah.
send me one.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's a beautiful game.
it is. It's great.
I just need to practice more. Apparently, I don't know.
No, you do.
Anybody that has adjustments for both of us, send them our way.
I'll take what help I can get. Yeah.
All right. Then to get into the bulk of this thing, let's start off. We'll go in alphabetical order for these conferences. The G5 and Independence, that is. And our first conference of the day in alphabetical order is the American Athletic Conference. Who do you got as your American champion?
I would say SMU. They were, but they're in the ACC now.
They are now.
So there's that. I am high on Tulane, but with the transition of their new coach, I'm very skeptical on that. He came from Troy. He had 23. He was 23-4 in the last 2 seasons. I think he's capable of doing some great things. But I don't know. I'm just not big on coaches coming in, and we'll see what new coaches. But as for now, I'm going to say Memphis. Right now, they're my conference champ prediction. Coach Ryan Silverfield's coming off his best season of 10-3. He has some major expectations. They're bringing back 11 starters from last season in a group of potential high-impact transfers. Apparently, I'm not talking loud enough. I thought I'd do
The mic's just not picking you up, that's all.
Oh, that's dumb. But yeah, I got Memphis with the amount of starters they have, and their coach is doing really well. That's what I got for my pick.
Yeah, that's the same for me, basically. I mean, Memphis returned 7 offensive starters. They were first in the American in 2023 with averaging 39.4 points a game. They were 55 and 63 in the red zone, so that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
They only allowed 423 points on the season. I mean, Memphis is the obvious choice, I feel like.
Yeah.
A lot of it for the same reasons. Tulane, you just lost Willie Fritz, who's a great coach
Yeah.
in Houston. So you're going to take a step back there. The only other team that I could see even remotely competing is USF. But I just don't see them making that jump up there. So, yeah,
No.
Memphis is the team for me
Yes, sir.
on that in the American. All right, next up, Conference USA.
Conference USA. My pick for those guys is Liberty. First-year coach Sammy Chadwell guided the team to a conference title with 13 wins this last season, and he appeared in the Fiesta Bowl. They're returning a lot of key players from last season as well, including fantastic quarterback Caden Salter, who threw for 283 yards per game last season, and also Quentin Cooley, who's worthy to be mentioned as he had over 1,400 rushing yards as well. So
we're just hitting nail on the head with both of these. Yeah, I mean Liberty's the obvious choice. I feel like
absolutely, yeah.
Out of all of these conferences, I think Liberty's going to be the best.
No,
G5 team
by far.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be close. 6 starters on both sides of the ball coming back. You said Caden Salters, the quarterback. Quentin Cooley returns in the running back position. They had the best rushing in the FBS with 293 yards a game last year. The defensive high with 21 interceptions in 2023. So
a lot of good
they're going to
stuff.
have, and the people that they don't have, the transfers are going to fill in for them.
Yeah.
So they're going to be able to rebuild. I think Liberty, I mean, they're basically the lock for me for the playoff, which we'll get later on. But Liberty it is.
Yes, sir.
Next up in our continuation here, the MAC, the Mid-American Conference.
MAC Nation right here.
MACtion.
Yep. I have Miami, Ohio. They're coming off a what?
Same.
Okay, I was like, we're just really beat for beat here. They're coming off a conference championship, so they're hungry for another one. Quarterback Brett Gabbert's 23 season was cut short with a major leg injury, but he's looking to return this season. Great dude, could do some great things for them. Their defense dominated as well. All the MAC opponents last year, they held them to 11.1 points a game and only 4.4 yards per snap. They have some important key pieces that are missing from last season, but they have a strong foundation. I think 6 starters are coming back that I know of. I think that they're capable of some great things coming into this year.
Same as well. Miami, Ohio is the team in the MAC for some action.
We didn't collude.
We did not, and so. Like you said, quarterback is going to be coming back. Plus, he returns 4 or 5 starters on the offensive line, so that's perfect setup going there. Their defense was 7th nationally in points allowed per game. Plus, they bring back freshman All-American, I guess it's like Ryan Strader, and then Eli Blakely in the secondary. So both of those people are going to have some nice veteran-laden defense.
Oh, yeah.
Plus the offense that's going to be lighting things up. Miami, Ohio is your MAC champion.
Yes, sir.
On the docket, the Mountain West.
Mountain West. Let's see. For my Mountain West prediction, I have Boise State. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Although I will say, with that whole conference, there's not one team that I'm just super high on, just because it's a pretty, in my opinion, like mediocre conference. I don't think anyone has less than 4 losses, or I don't know if I said that right. Anyways, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, but if I had to pick one, Boise State. Who I got. Hopefully Spencer Danielson can keep the momentum going into this next season. So he took the interim coach at the end of last season. He led them though to the title game and they won. And hopefully he can continue that momentum. Yeah.
I agree. Boise State's the team in the Mountain West. That blue turf field.
That's beautiful.
It's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
One thing I really like about Boise State is Malachi Nelson, who went from Oklahoma commit to USC quarterback. He was a backup under Caleb Williams, who transferred in to Boise State now. So them with Malachi Nelson, I think it's going to be good. Plus they have Ashton Gentry, who was 7th nationally with 112 rushing yards per game, who had 19 touchdowns, plus wide receiver Chris Marshall, with 3 or 5 starters coming back from the schedule secondary. I think Boise State is going to be able to dominate the Mountain West.
Oh, yeah.
But their non-conference is kind of hard because they got at Oregon, which is not going to be pleasant for them.
Hey, I mean, if you're in college football, the game,
that's true.
Our friend Charles just dominated them, so like 31-3.
Yeah,
So maybe that's like
you got hope, Boise State. Maybe.
Right.
Good luck. Maybe so. You never know. Plus, they play Oregon State and Washington State, the two leftovers from the Pac-12. But
still.
So those games aren't going to be easy.
No.
I mean, they definitely lost some pieces, but Boise State's still going to have to put together a team that's going to be able to try and beat those schools.
Yeah.
Which isn't going to be easy. But even so, you can go 0-3 in your non-con and still win the Mountain West and be pretty solid about that. So Boise State's the team to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least, the Sun Belt.
Good old Sun Belt.
Which still has divisions this year, by the way.
No, yeah. I have App State as my...
We're 5 for 5, baby.
App State. They're returning a lot of production. That's what sets them apart, I think. Quarterback Joey Aguilar, I think I said his name right. And his top 6 catchers are back, along with 15 to 21 defenders who played some good snaps last season. And then they do have some bumps in the road. In September, they're playing Clemson and Liberty. So it's a really early part of the season. If they can somehow get over those, I think they'll be pretty set, and people will know that they're for real. But if not, it's not the end of the world. But that's who I have as my prediction of the winning.
Yes, App State. We're 5 for 5. App State returns 9 starters on defense that allowed 200 yards in Sun Belt play last year, as well as 15 passes intercepted on the year. So they got a good defense coming back for them. App State's going to be definitely in contention to get that playoff spot. Like you said, quarterback Joey Aguilar back after almost a 4,000 passing yard season. They finished with 3,757 passing yards and 33 TDs in 2023. This was the one conference that I had to think about a lot because I think James Madison, their first 2 years they would have won the Sun Belt both years if the NCAA would have granted them their playoff or their bowl eligibility and transition. But since they were in that transition phase, they didn't get to play for the Sun Belt title, and they didn't get to play for a bowl game, which is very sad. Screw you, NCAA. Honestly. But James Madison could make a push. But they lost a ton of people this year. I see James Madison being in a rebuild, so that's why I went with App State. Plus, they got more of a base on both sides of the ball, so I think they're going to be the team to beat there this year.
For sure.
So that's all of the G5 conferences now. So, with some various questions here, who's going to be the best independent? So when I say that, we're talking Notre Dame, Massachusetts, UConn, Oregon State, which is technically not an independent, and Washington State, which is also technically not an independent, but they're in there for the sake of argument. So who you got as the best independent?
Massachusetts. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Going way out there.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate. No, I have Notre Dame coming off the 10-3 season. I believe they have somewhat of a manageable schedule. That's who I have. Yeah, I don't know. I have a brain fog there.
Yeah. Notre Dame's the obvious choice, I feel like, just because it's not really going to be close with Oregon State and Washington State because they've lost so much with them being left behind. They've lost coaches. They've lost players. They've lost the whole thing. And then it's UConn and UMass. UConn might do better, but they're not going to do anything of note. Same thing with UMass. I think they're probably one of the worst FBS teams in college football, so it ain't happening with either of them.
No.
No. I'm going to talk more about Notre Dame later. So we'll go on to question number 4. And who makes the 12-team playoff as the G5 representative?
The only G5 school that I can see making the playoff is Liberty. And already discussed them and everything they've got going for them. I'd like to see an underdog being there sometime, some way. So that's who I have, and we'll see how they shake out this season.
So, just for the sake of being different.
Okay. They've got to be a little bit different.
I have a Liberty down, but I'm throwing the paper away for this one. I'm going to go Boise State because I think a lot of what I said earlier, I think Malachi Nelson, I mean, he was originally a 5-star quarterback coming out of high school. He's got to have the talent there to show he's a 5-star, as long as he's under the right person to help develop that. So, who's to say it's not Boise State? Boise State come out with him and do really well. Like I said, they have Ashton Gentry coming out. 112 rushing yards per game last year. The team around them is there. Whether or not they get it moving and going is going to be the question. Like I said earlier, their non-conference schedule is tough, but like you were saying, the Mountain West is not a difficult conference to play.
No.
Like, you're talking everybody there is probably going to have 3 or 4 more losses a game or a year. Boise State has it ready for them to take. If they can pull off 2 of their 3 non-conference, which is Oregon State, Washington State, and Oregon. So if you beat the 2 Pac-2 teams, you got a pretty good shot of going for the playoff. You just lose to Oregon and you don't make it look like a complete blowout, then I think Boise State's got a chance. Liberty's obviously the next closest, but Boise State will be my pick there.
Gotta be different there.
That's right.
I'm glad we have some difference today. That's
you can't
nice.
just go clean slate across the board.
Yeah.
All right. Last question for this episode. Can Notre Dame, Oregon State, Washington State make a playoff push?
No. No. I mean, not the other 2. Notre Dame is the only one. Leave me alone. They're the only ones that I can see being in the playoff. Like I said, I think that their schedule is fairly manageable. I believe they start off their season. I don't have their thing pulled up
Here. So
I believe they start off in College Station to A&M.
Yep.
And they play Louisville, Florida State, and USC. Those are some kind of but if they can get over them, I think they'll do good. In addition of Riley Leonard on quarterback, and the return of some key players like cornerback Benjamin Morrison, they should leave Notre Dame among some of the best, one of the best teams at the end. At least I think that they'll be decent. I don't know.
I agree. Notre Dame is the team. Like you said, they take Riley Leonard from Duke, and they were the only really thing on the offensive side of the ball is they have to replace 3 offensive line starters for them. But their D returns 5 starters to a squad who was a top 10 in scoring defense, which was 7th, total defense, which was 5th in the nation, and yard. I put yap.
Okay.
I think that's yards allowed per game, which was 5th.
His handwriting's really bad.
It is. But yeah, yards allowed per game, which was 5th in the nation. So they're not a bad team.
I know.
Their schedule, as you said, starts out in College Station with Texas A&M. They got Northern Illinois, at Purdue, Miami of Ohio, Louisville, Stanford, at Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State, at Virginia, Army, and at USC. You got really couple tough road games at A&M, at USC, but then you got Florida State at home, which helps you out.
Oh yeah.
I still think Florida State wins that game. Notre Dame's the only one that's going to have a chance to get into the playoff out of those 3. Whether or not they can actually get it done, though, I mean, you really only have room for a Notre Dame squad for like 2 really good losses or just 1 loss.
Yeah.
And you got to hope that A&M, USC, Florida State are all really good teams, and then you can come out and make it happen.
Yep.
But a lot of kind of what happened with last year with Sam Hartman, they brought in him from Wake Forest, and he didn't play great at Notre Dame. He really played better when he was at Wake Forest. So, depending on what Riley Leonard does with the offense too, could completely tank them. I don't know. They could come out and lose to Marshall again. You never know.
Yeah, you never really know.
Miami, Ohio, Notre Dame has the best shot, but will they do it? I don't know. Who knows?
Stay tuned and find out.
That's right. That's all I got, folks. That is it.
I guess we're not. The questions, we're skipping those.
Huh?
You had questions for me for the.
I forgot about that.
I don't want to do it now.
It wasn't
though.
written in. You've already reminded me. All right.
Dang it.
We're supposed to start the episode with this. But
I was wondering. I was like, is he gonna ask? Because but I don't mind. That's
it's
fine.
okay. I forgot about this.
I don't like questions.
But he reminded me, so here we go. The G5 trivia question, which I'm sure all of you were very excited for. Who was the first and only G5 team to make the 4-team college football playoff?
I've told you I'm really.
We went through Dallas the year that they were playing.
The SMU, I guess.
No.
Or
We went through Dallas the year that they were playing in the Cotton Bowl, which was a semifinal game. They played Alabama.
why can't I think of
We were
that?
coming back from San Antonio.
My brain is really hurt. Like I don't. Simple questions are hard for me. Don't judge me.
Luke Fickell was their head coach.
Why can't listen? I can't think right now.
They're currently a Big 12 team.
What is it? I'm having like complete spasms of the brain
It's
right
okay.
now. Oh no! Oh, why can't Houston?
Nope, wrong
not
one.
Houston. Why can't I think with my brain right now? Just tell me.
Give up.
Yeah, I can't. My brain is. I'm panicking because there's people watching me.
Cincinnati.
Okay.
It's not written down.
Okay.
That's why I
Yeah.
forgot.
I have issues with brain memory. All right. So, don't judge me.
It is Cincinnati, the Bearcats.
Okay. I'm glad we got through that.
That is.
I should have reminded you. Now I look like a dummy.
It's okay. All right. The next episode is the college football preview.
Yes.
We get to dive into the football season as a whole.
So excited.
Pick some playoff teams. Pick some Heisman winners. Pick some
Ollie Gordon.
fun stuff.
He's up. Heisman. Just saying.
So
I'm
you
excited.
want to stay tuned for that.
Yep.
Come back and see us.
It's
and
our last month without college football.
I know we are close. The end is in sight, folks.
I
The
can't
end
wait.
is in sight.
So excited.
All right. Well, you got any other football-related things?
No, I don't think so. Shout out to Eskimo Joe's. I love your cheese fries. Other than that,
They're
that's
pretty
about it.
good.
They are good.
All right. That's it for Athletically Speaking.
Love you. Bye.